What was wrong with Cain's offering? Does it turn out that God hates the vegetarian option and should you ever invite the Almighty round for dinner, you should not serve him a nut roast but always a Sunday roast? Is that it? Was there something wrong with Cain's vegetable offering? Well, read the commentaries and you'll find a number of suggestions about why Cain's offering wasn't acceptable and why Abel's was. And while the commentaries can be helpful, the best commentary on the Old Testament is, of course, the New Testament. That is the infallible commentary inspired by God the Holy Spirit. And it turns out that the New Testament book of Hebrews gives us the infallible explanation that we're looking for on this kind of tricky verse. And I put the relevant verse on the handout, Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 11. There it is for you. By faith, Abel offered to God a more acceptable sacrifice than Cain, through which he was commended as righteous. God commended him by his accepting his gifts, and through his faith, though he died, he still speaks. Now, those of you who know Hebrews chapter 11 will know it's a chapter all about faith. That is the main point here. I mean, faith is mentioned just twice in that verse. Abel's offering was made by faith, and that is what made it acceptable. So you see, it turns out it's not about the gift, but about the heart. Nothing to do with it being lamb rather than vegetables, and everything to do with how the gift was given. Abel brought his gift by faith, and Cain? Well, Genesis chapter 4 actually tells us about Cain, and the clue is in his name. You know, often in the Bible, names are really important. Almost always, names are really important. We're meant to take note of them. And the author here in chapter 4, verse 1, makes sure that we take note of it because he spells it out for us. Look back to chapter 4, verse 1. Now, Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have produced. See, that's what Cain means. I have produced a man with the help of the Lord. The author spells it out for us. Cain means I have produced, or even better, I have achieved. Look what I've done. The point is, Cain was all about his achievement, what he could do. And so at Harvest Festival, as Cain took up his offering to the front of church, it was all about what he'd achieved. Look at me, look how great I am, look what I'm doing, look what I'm taking to the Lord. Me, 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 it's all about me. And that is always religion's approach to God. Religion attempts to get right with God and back to paradise by our achievement.